Hello and welcome. This exciting episode is brought to you by Vitamin C. It's a very, very orange dress, 3 different shades of orange, in fact, 6 panels in that skirt. It's so vintage and in its own way adorable. So let me show you how I made it.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
I am making the orange dress today. It's part of the UFOs thing. So this month I'm just finishing all these dresses that I cut out and then just put in storage boxes, and I guess I just forgot about them. It was last year I cut them out, and my tastes have changed. I want baggy clothes rather than form-fitting ones. So the ones that were kind of baggish I made up. So these ones are pretty nice. They're just pullover dresses. So I made these in the first episode. They've got sort of baggy sleeves. Then the next episode I made some summer dresses using the burrito method, sleeveless ones. And then last UFO episode was me sort of rejigging 3 of the vintage patterns and making them up as dresses in a sort of looser fit. I've still got all these ones to go. And today I've only got time to make one dress. So I think we'll go with the orange one because it's the one that's kind of easiest to do, and I'm a little short on time. So I think we'll get this one and pop all the others under the bench. And here we go. These are all the pieces of the original dress cut out, plus I've got the scraps. It's the Bodice B6055 from the 1950s, and it is a beautiful dress. If you want to see it step-by-step video of it being made up, I've got a video in the Pretty in Pink playlist from last year, and it's a beautiful dress, but I would wear it more if it was just the bodice was a little looser. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what the scraps are for. I'm going to use the bits of the bodice that I've cut up and so these are, we've got the front bodice, the facing, which is like the inside of the collar. When you turn it out, it makes the collar. And we've got the back, which is cut on the fold. So, and I've already sewn in the darts, so I'll have to undo them. I think I need to add a panel to the middle of the back one as well. And with the front, I'll just square them up and then add a panel from one of the lapels. So I'm not explaining it very well. In the 3 mustard vintage dresses episode, the one with the little birdie fabric, this one, I did the same thing. See, I added a front panel. You can't really see it from far away, and it just means that you can actually use the fabric instead of just having to turn it into scraps or patchworks, whatever. So, I'll just add, that was a lapel. So I just added one to that, and then I added the other one, cut the back in half and added that into the middle of it. And it just means that I can reuse the fabric instead of just in not being able to use it at all, because obviously with a baggier bodice it's going to be bigger. And then for the skirt, unfortunately I already sewed the skirt together. Beautiful hand finishing, but so I'm going to have to unpick all that. I'm also going to add more panels because I think the skirt's not full enough. So the center one is a different pattern, but these two on the one on the left and the one on the right are the Bodice 6055, and the skirts aren't full enough. So that's why I've decided to go to the other extreme and add 2 coral and an extra 2 orange to the bright orange. So there'll be 6 panels instead of 2. So I am now going to go away and trim all these pieces into the right shapes and sizes, sew them together so they're ready to cut the bodices, and also rip those seams of the skirt and cut out the new panels of the skirt. And then I will be back with the next steps. Wow, the camera gets so confused when I go too close to these colours. These are the real colours. This one here, not the washed out when I get too close. So first I cut out the bodice. These are the lining. So I cut them out of that faded orange one. And I sort of had to cut it on the fold because I already cut out the pieces for the skirt, but I'll show you them later. So I cut them out of the little triangles that were left. And now it is time to do the outer front bodice and back bodice. So as I said, I just trimmed the top and the side off the lapel section, and now I just have to straighten the edges of the left front and the right front, and then I can I'll just be able to sew those 3 bits together. And I'm just sort of measuring to see whether it will fit. This is the front bodice, which is smaller than the back bodice piece. So this one fits, and then I just tried the back bodice as well, and that actually fits. So I might cut it out of this one, because it's very hard to find a fit for the back bit, because it's that little bit bigger. So now with the back, I'll use this to cut out the front of my new bodice. So first I have to undo these darts, and I'm not sure why I needed to show you all the seams being undone, but I did. And then I folded it in half and then cut it straight, because I have to again add a 3rd section, just so that it's going to be big enough to cut out that panel. So the bodice. So here we go. So I've allowed for seam allowance on both sides, and it looks like it's going to fit. So I've pinned them all together. So pinned the first one, pinned the second line, and yeah, it's because the center panel is so short, it actually has to be quite precise about where I pin it and where I sew it. So yeah, I sewed it, then I pressed the seams, and and then I cut out the front and the back bodice, and I'm really happy with them. I think they look really good. And I also sewed them together, obviously. Yeah. So we have the lining is the faded looking one, and the brighter ones are the front and the back. So I sewed them together, like each separately, and then I pinned them together, right sides together, and sewed the neckline. Then I clipped the curve, so just clip it all the way around. And then I turned it in the correct way. And instead of pressing it, I just put pins around it, because it works for me. Then the next thing I had to do was cut the sleeves. And I used this one, but I did film it, but oh my gosh, I just could not orientate myself to this. So I won't show you the footage. I guess I could save it for a bloopers reel or something, but it was really nonsensical. So this is the piece. And just looking at it, do you know how that thing goes together? It's just bizarre. So I kept getting the wrong side, and I couldn't even figure out where the cuff was. I was just, it was a little beyond me. So eventually I made it, but yeah, I'll save you I'll learn how to do it properly before I film it and show it to you. So anyway, I did get them done, and then I sewed them in, and then it is, I don't know why I'm showing it to you. I'm still confused. But I made them. I don't think they look anything like the picture personally, but I did do it the correct way in the end. I had to unpick a few times. Speaking of unpicking, oh my goodness, this skirt. So I had to unpick my hand-finished seams and then the machine sewing bit as well, and then dust them all off because there was just so much thread everywhere. And then I cut 2 of the faded orange and 2 of the coral, and sometimes it just looks horrible, but the 3 colours actually look quite nice together. And but I think the brightness of the bright orange is just throwing the camera off. Anyway, so I cut them all out, and then I had to pin them together and sew them together, which obviously takes a while, but yeah, that's all 6 panels. And I decided, I was tempted to do it in a fancy way, but I decided to just go bright orange, dull orange coral, bright orange, dull orange coral, and the bright ones are going to be the centre front and the centre back. And I mean, in hindsight, if I'd put the 2 coral at the front left and the front right, I would have been happy with that. But anyway, so they're all pinned and pleated a little bit, and then here we go. I still don't know about those sleeves. I think the coral fabric is slightly less robust than the bright orange. So I think maybe that's why I don't like them, because they're not sitting up as much as, this not sort of as stiff as the bright orange. So this is it from the side. I will put a tie on it in a minute, but some of you really like to see what their dresses look like without a tie. So this is the back, and I really love the, like, when you wear it, the three colours work really well together. I think when you just see it from the front, so this is it with the tie, and it's absolutely adorable. But I think when you see it from the front, oh, and I've put the 1950s petticoat underneath it. Yeah, I don't know. I think you really have to see it on a person to see that it, because even the slightest turn you can tell immediately that there's 6 panels in the skirt, whereas this way I think maybe you aren't sure whether there's 4 panels or 6 panels. And yeah, so then I just put an iris and a poppy on there, and I just think this is adorable. I do have the pockets, but I don't think I'm going to use them, partly because I'm too lazy to finish them, let's face it. But also, I think when a skirt only has 2 panels, like this birdie one, I think it's really good on that one. And if I made this dress out of camouflage fabric, those pockets would look phenomenal, I think. But on a skirt where I've got 6 panels and it's really, really full and pleated down, I just think the big pockets would look wrong. It would take away from the fullness and the beautiful. It's just beautiful, this skirt. I love it. So I think I'm just going to leave it like this. I like the simplicity of it. And yeah, so that's it. I'm so happy with this one. It's such a fetching shade of a jailbreak. It's very, very orange. So I was a bit worried about that, but I quite like it. And there are still so many of them to go. I've put some of the shirts under. So this is the dresses. There's the orange one. This is old footage, obviously. Yeah, I think I might do the ladybug one next and it's the same as this orange one that I just did. But I think I'm going to make it with 4 panels and have like a black panel in the middle, 2 ladybug panels on the left and the right, and then a black one at the back. And that way it'll look more like a ladybug with, like a black bug with ladybug wings, I think. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that one. This pile is cute too because it's just a bunch of different fabrics. I think I would also like to make this orange dress, so 6 panel dress, in 3 different prints. I think that would look cute instead of plain colours. I think that would make it more interesting and dynamic. I might try that, but without sleeves, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe 3 sleeves with 3 different bands, like I did on that layer cake dress. Maybe. Anyway, that's it for this episode. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, happy sewing.